Joshua. How are you today? It's so nice to see you again. I haven't seen you since Sundance where we met.
Yep, that's
How
right.
are you?
How
How are
you
you?
doing? Doing great.
You're looking a little bit more rested than you did at Sundance.
Oh no, yeah, I mean, didn't have time because we just had an inspection in the building, so I had to use all my time on getting everything ready. But I mean, everything's well now, so
Good.
everything looks perfect.
So,
Really,
Joshua, I know you live in Utah and you're from Mexico. You want
it
to talk
is.
a little bit about yourself, why you came to America, and what are you doing in Utah?
Yeah, so basically what happened is that after finishing my university studies, I decided to pursue my dreams wherever more possible. Because let's just say that in Mexico, it's not that easy to get into the film industry, and if I was, unless I had like super contacts and everything, it would be really hard, and actually I wouldn't be getting a lot of money when it's not like what the reason, but I mean,
Yeah,
just to need to eat, if you know what I mean.
yeah. I totally understand all the opportunities in America.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's where I was going to be in the Sundance. I'd be like, you know what? I mean, I like films, and if I'm volunteering, it would be like great. I saw some movies. I met you guys. It was perfect. The best after party that I've had in years. So, and I'm
Thank you.
looking
We
forward for
really
the next
enjoyed
year.
meeting you too, because you're part time. You came in the second part. You weren't there
Yeah,
the whole time. Yeah, and it was great to meet you. I brought a lot of life to the party.
yeah. And actually, I had to switch my schedule to be with you guys one more day, but it was worth it in the end.
Yes, it was worth it. You got to hang out with us when we were really relaxed.
I know, right? Except when we were playing Mafia, and then everything went crazy again. Nice team bonding exercise.
I never played before, and I became godmother.
Yeah, Godmother, but
I was like,
yes.
"What's that?"
I never played in my entire life also, so I was like, all right, I died. I guess I'm gonna have to see you guys.
So what is it that you want to do in America? You're a digital artist, is that right?
Yes, I'm an audiovisual artist with orientation in animation, but I want to specialize in VFX and motion graphic design and video editing.
What does that mean? Things you just said.
Oh, basically, green screen, special effects, and uh, cut videos and put them together, pretty much.
Oh, okay. So basically, everything we see like nowadays that's graphics. That's what you want to do.
Exactly, like titles, like I said, special effects using the green screen to add like some flames or whatever, and also cutting the video apart so you can put the best clips and scenes like together, and then boom, there you go. There's your video, there's your short film, there's your movie, whatever you need.
Would you be interested in doing a short animated film?
That would be awesome, but that would be too many time consuming, and but I mean, I would be down to it I have like a decent like nice team put together. Unless I can do it, well, I mean, I technically I can do it myself, but that would take a lot of time. So it depends on the director and the executive producers to be like, hey, yeah, we can do this. I would be down.
Okay, so basically you can do anything animated that we wanted to get done.
Yes and no, because when it comes to 2D and traditional animation, let's just say that my hand is not as good when it comes to. I'm not like the best, but when it comes to using like masks and shapes to create some neat effects, then yes.
I
This
see.
is why I don't specialize in graphic design because that actually requires you to have a nice hand for drawing.
Oh, graphic design, you have to draw. I see.
Well, it depends on how you do it. The way I do it is that I basically pretty much uh, take pre-existing things, like I can take photographies and then take shapes of that and then do as I will with them. But
Oh,
usually, yeah, you have to use like your tablet and start drawing digitally. But it depends if you need to do it based on what you need to do for the work of the commission.
I gotcha. So, because I'm kind of interested in doing a cartoon of my short because it's about a little girl in Thailand.
Hmm.
I kind of see it in my head as a cartoon, not really in real life, unless it's a feature. But even then, I really like anime.
Hmm.
And I kind of see it as anime, like Spirited Away type of situation.
Ooh, Studio Ghibli, yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah, that's where my whole family's really into anime. I got them started when they were young. I had them watch Princess Mononoke when they were like 2. I
Yeah.
started them off when they were 2. Like, here's Princess Mononoke, watch it. It's the best cartoon, and now they all love anime. So that's where I'm at, and that's why I'm kind of interested in connecting with you, just to see if you're interested in that. Because I know a lot of artists, they don't want to get involved in cartoons or shorts.
Hmm.
It's time consuming. And how would you charge people for that? Like, what's your, how does that work mission wise? Is
Well,
it per hour? Is it the work you do? How much work you have to do? Or
yeah, I think it will be by hour when it comes to animating for something like that. But I mean, when it comes to motion graphics, you can charge depending on how the length, right? Because special effects are that like lengthy in a way. So let's just say that I have a video, and to put like in a perspective, let's just say that I would do $1,000 per 60 seconds, right? So 1 minute of animation will be $1,000 because motion graphics are expensive because you need a super nice equipment to render everything on it. So let's just say that I just did 10 seconds for you. Okay, that'll be like $100 for an intro or like an animated logo or like some nice title for your movie. Probably that will go, but that's just me, not something that's like when a professional AAA corporation. I wouldn't know how much they charge for it or how much they pay their animators.
I also found out that, which was surprising to me, is that movies, they hire out a person for the intro and for the ending areas where they have the names, the credits rolling, and all that. That's a separate thing from the movie. I didn't know that.
Oh no, yeah, it depends of the like I said of the director, but I mean yes, actually it would be possible to do the intro and the ending depending of how much they trust you or how much are you willing to be part of the movie, you know what I mean? Or depending on the contract really.
Yeah.
It's really hard to say, but you know, we should if we talk about this, then we will get on all of these corporations that right now they just wanna keep pumping on movies, right? That's where I was getting at, and what I talked about is that like today's movies feel artificial, right? In a way, not everything. I mean, you saw Puss in Boots; it was a masterpiece. Everybody loved it.
Hmm.
But the thing is that right now, looking back at like going back to Disney, right? What's happening is that all right, so we're gonna make Marvel movies. All right, we acquired Marvel, right? And what's happening with Marvel right now? Oh well, we needed to make a movie every year because we need to keep the cinematic universe going, and this is just making it feel more and more like a chore than to actually go and have the full experience of watching the audiovisual art, right? And why is that? Oh well, because corporation right now, corporate is like, all right, you know what, guys, I want to make money, and I want to make it now. So what's happening is that people are doesn't have have tight deadlines, they have to crunch, and everything doesn't have what it needs to feel like it's a passion and love, right? Because it's like pretty much a rushed product. Now, before the director had the luxury of saying, you know what, I'm gonna make this movie and I'm gonna make it in 3 years, give or take. So take it or leave it. But now the corporation have more power than the people that are actually making the movies. So now it's like you have this time to make my movie, and that's it. That's the end of the conversation. So this is why, for example, Hollywood is also with the same of these things, right? I mean, you look at Pinocchio, you look at the version of Guillermo del Toro, and then you look at the Disney one. Guillermo del Toro crushed Disney's ones, and that was not even I don't think he was planning to do that actually, but I mean, that's what happens when you try to leech out of nostalgia, right? It's like, oh, hey, remember Pinocchio, guys, when you were little? Here you go. Oh, wait, remember Mulan? When we were actually making beautiful animations and we were gold standard in animation. That's what Disney was, or I mean, is a little bit. But now they're just leeching out of it and be like, hey, remember this thing? Here you go. And let's not talk about how they actually in the credits have the audacity to credit, like, oh, thank you, Chinese government, for letting us film in a place that actually have concentration camps not so far from here. You know what I mean? It's starting to even get like a little bit more scary than just like corporate greed. It's like getting worse than that. Now, how can we fix this, right? I mean, it's good to complain about it, but can you find a solution? Yes and no. It's hard to say, but I mean, if you want, actually, the solution is you have to vote with your wallets, right? This money. I don't want to pay for this artificial product that you're selling me. I want to have a nice experience that you usually make with love. How now? Unless we do that, Hollywood's not gonna care. Corporate is not gonna care. They just want to make money, and as long as people keep paying them to go to the movies, they will keep going for it, and they will get their way. So unless people are slowly starting to get this feel that I told you of artificial feel, be like, all right, you know what? I don't want to go to the cinema again to see the 15th movie of Marvel for the third year in a row. I want to see something unique. I want to feel that magic that makes me into movies. You know what I mean? That's what happened with me. That's what I wanted to be, another visual artist. Is that I went into films. I loved films. You know, everybody digested films in a way that makes them feel emotions. Now, the writing is so bad because they are rushed. So look what happens with Star Wars, like quoting The Godfather. Look how they massacred my boy, right? You see the sequels. Now, not all of the movies. You see Rogue One, and you can see that they actually cared about the product. You see The Mandalorian, you actually see that they actually not use a green screen a lot. They actually use a lot of things that George Lucas did. So they are faithful. That's why people love that. Not because of magic or anything. It was because they stayed faithful and respected the universe. Nowadays, it's like, oh no, my ego is gonna be in the way, and I'm gonna do this however I want it, my way. And it's like, oh, okay, I'm just like in the J.J. Abrams. There was like this, like, was talking about some questions, right? And he was like, oh yeah, so just like George Lucas, I wanted to actually be inspired by World War II, and that's why in one of these scenes you actually see some ships that are started to bomb like it was at World War II. But the thing is that if you actually did your research, you will understand that the reason why they didn't use big bombers is that they will get destroyed. So that scene was dumb, because it's like, oh, okay, so you're gonna just let your ships go straight into a super destroyer that's just gonna blow everything up, and you by miracle like drop some bombs on them, and oh, okay, so you destroy one ship at the cost of your entire fleet. So people see that, and it's like, this is not how you can do it. I mean, you don't have, one thing that I learned in university is that you don't have to treat your spectators like they're stupid. You know? And it's like and especially when you know that the universe is already made, you should know that there's like bomber fighters that actually do the job, so they don't have to sacrifice a bigger ship. So if actually J.J. Abrams did a little bit of research on this, it would be like, oh, you know what? Actually, why don't we use little ships instead of just making a scene about some big bombers sacrificing for nothing? That's just one example, but you could tear down the whole movie if you wanted to. And it didn't help that movie didn't have one director; it had two. So then, after on these sequels, after the first two movies, then the third one came and retconned some of the stuff that happened on the other two, because the other director was like, no, I don't want to do this. Like, for example, when on the first movies, Luke was like, oh no, I don't want to be a Jedi, screw this up, which doesn't make any sense, because Luke was all about hope, trust. He had enough hope to be like, you know what, my father still has some good in him. And now it's like this bitter old man that doesn't care if people die anymore. And it's like, this is not the Luke that I grew up with. You're destroying a character. You know what I mean? And now in the later movies, it's like, you have to treat this weapon with respect, the lightsaber. And it's like, oh, okay, so now you're going back to Luke being this person that cares. But it's too late now, because we're already 2 movies in, and you expect me to buy into this? No, this is already so dumb that it doesn't make any sense, and you just ruins the experience for everybody. You can have the best like I'm coming from a person that wants to do like special effects and everything. Like you can have most beautiful battle scenes in the world, but if you don't respect the universe, it will be for nothing. Just like when Leia was in one of the ships, right?
Uh-huh.
And then she got blown up literally out of space. And then somehow, because she's a Jedi, which they don't justify, she wakes up in the middle of space and goes floating back into the ship like Mary Poppins. When have you ever seen that in the six first movies that happened? Never. You are in space, you die. You blow up, you die. Jedi's are still humans. It doesn't make any sense. It's a slap in the face to everybody, to the universe, to the people, to everybody. So who are you making actually this for? Okay, Disney to make just fulfill the quota that you have to, and that's it. Clap your hands, move on to the next thing.
So
That's
you
what it feels like you're shopping right now when you're going into movies. Like, nah, yeah, it feels like a chore. I don't feel like watching movies anymore. You know what I mean?
so you feel that movies today, because of the money
Corporate
hungry
greed.
studios, the greed is turning out bad theater, not quality work.
Exactly. At least in the AAA scale of things. I mean, if you watch, like we saw, like the films in the independent side, they're great. I actually liked like all of them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, the spiritual side is there, like the soul can be portrayed in the movies. We just need to give it a chance.
Yeah.
But it will never happen, at least not until Hollywood wakes up. But in a capitalist country, that's gonna be hard to make because it's like, oh, just you can take my money, and actually, as a corporate decision, it would be better to let this guy that actually knows how to make movies do his thing. It will not be in a year, it will not be in 2 years, but I can guarantee you that if you want to break box office, you have to let it grow, just like a plant, right?
Yes.
You can have a tree in
Right.
2 or 1 years, and you want to bear the fruit that's gonna be beautiful. You have to wait for it. Everything that's worth it is gonna cost.
So you like James Cameron then? Because he does wait a long time to make his movies. He waits for everything. He invents things for his movie to work. Do you like James Cameron?
Absolutely. I mean, I grew up with Titanic. I saw Avatar and the cinema. I remember, I remember when I glanced on the side and my mother was crying when the tree was falling, because
Yeah.
it was like a punch. It was a critique, right? How humans are destroying nature, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing. Oh, and now the thing is that now we criticize society in a way that's obnoxious and on your face. Now they want to tell you how to think. They don't want to make you think. No, they want to tell you what to think and how to think. That's another issue that movies have right now. Those commentaries are like, oh, look, here's the empowered female, here's the dumb white guy, and here's the smart gay guy, and that's a checklist on Hollywood right now.
Yeah.
And there you go. Now it's like, no, I mean, you want to do a social critique, do it. You have all the power in the world to do it, but don't try to force your views on people, and actually on the movie establish this is a bad guy and this is a good guy. I mean, no. You're not letting people think, and that's one of the things. The Hollywood munch the food for you, and it doesn't make you think. So that's why it's like these movies are so dumbed down, but it's because it's like, oh no, here's how it is, and here's everything established. Now we don't want you to think, just consume the movie. Consume. That's it. Consume, go to next.
I definitely agree with you with the big Hollywood studios, money. And again, it always comes back to the rich people wanting you to think a certain way, to buy their products. Or if you don't, you won't be beautiful, you won't be sexy, you won't be handsome. So then they put it into the movies, and we know all the sexual harassment that went on in Hollywood too. So I think that the world's gonna wake up, which is what's happening with Sundance. Sundance is so popular, and their movies really are kind of smacks Hollywood in the face, you know, kind of like.
And I love that.
I did too. It's kind of like, look at this movie, you know, we're going to do what we want. We're going to show you how we feel. Then you decide how you feel, like, especially with Infinity Pool. You're like, how do you feel about that movie? You're like, I don't know how to feel, you know? So I definitely agree with you, and I think that our independent movement is working. But, you know, and I know there's a lot of movies now getting Oscars that went through Sundance, like Coda, the deaf children of deaf adults. That was such a great movie. So I do think it's working, but there's always going to be those big blockbuster movies people want to make, right? That are just stupid, but they're entertaining. So, and they want because the young kids go to the movies, so they want them to come into the movies and watch these mindless movies. But in that situation, these kids are also becoming mindless.
Exactly. Because, like I said, it's like everything is processed and artificial. So it's like, what's the point anyway? If you're gonna tell me how to think and you're gonna try to make me feel bad for my beliefs or my views on the world, it's like, oh, so I come to the theater to have another reality and escape from this world.
Yeah.
Not to be scolded socially by your critique.
Right. I agree. You're not going to the movies to have your mom and dad tell you what to do.
Exactly.
You know, you're going for entertainment and enriching your mind. That's why I do it. You know?
And it's actually not only movies. Like even this is why manga right now is obliterating comics right now, because they are focusing on making good stories, not on social commentary. This is why you see all these Marvel and DC characters coming out as gay or something, and it's like, okay, and well, whereas manga is like, okay, here's a great story, here's some nice characters, here's some nice writing, and it's like, yes, this is why a lot of people are switching to the eastern side of things. I don't know if you noticed this, like a lot of more people, like you said, are watching anime.
Yes.
Because Japanese people or like these people in general, they don't care about this Western agenda. It's like, no, screw that. You wanna call me homophobic for not having all of these things? I don't care. I wanna make good stories and nice characters, which is infuriating if you think about it, because Hollywood has the resources to actually make some nice, good things, and they don't. And it's like, why instead of taking something that was already established and just perverting it on your perspective, just make something original? It's like, why did you make a badass character that just happens to be black or gay, just like rhetoric, or like Blade, you know, this cool vampire hunter that just goes on a killing spree and everybody loves it, and it was a comic character. You know, the things are there. You just have to actually not be creatively bankrupt right now. That's what Hollywood is right now. Creatively bankrupt. They don't want to make good stories. They just want to do a rehearse, and that's it.
I think if we keep pushing, it'll be good. Like Augie, my third son, is into it now, you know, and so just getting someone that's younger, like you guys, interested is really what we're trying to do, because we need you guys to come in with your fresh ideas, your fresh art, and tell the world really what it is to be a young man. Not what you think, but what you know. You know what I mean? There's a difference.
Exactly.
Right?
Not like this scene on a movie with like that you say, how do you do, fellow kids? But it's like an old guy in a high school. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh yeah, this is your perspective of what we are. But I mean, you haven't been in a college in 2020, right? Like you can't guess how it is. You can think maybe how it is. Yeah. But unless you have young people to tell you, okay, no, actually, this is how it is now in college, and you know everything else. But it's like, oh yeah, back in the day, this is what like it was like, and it was like, no, unless you wanna do something like 80s with like the typical school jock that's gonna bully you, that's into football and blah blah blah. I get it, but not in these days.
Yeah.
Not how it is right now.
Yeah, it's not realistic anymore. But yeah. Nope. I think we've done a good job. I think you've really expressed your opinion. I know what you want. So I think everyone will know what you want to.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram right now, joshua.ruiz.art. I have just a little bit of photography and motion graphic design and a little bit of graphic design over there. And to wrap it up, when it comes to all of this, I think like as the next generation, hopefully we don't make that mistake. Because I mean, my generation that are millennials, they're already making stuff. They're already making video games, movies, but they need to understand what we are and not to compel to what we think people are. You know what I mean? So hopefully it can happen. Yes. Hopefully we're in the right direction and people start to wake up. I mean, it's not like they're sheep going to. I mean, I'm pretty sure people know. People are not dumb. They know what they go for. They just decide to turn their brains off and watch the movie, have a good time, and then go back to life, which is respectable.
You know, so
yeah,
this is a battle that's been going on forever with people. There's always artists and there's always these people saying, no, you know, we don't like art. We think you guys are idiots, you know. So there's always been going on, you know what I mean? But without art, you can't change the world. You can't change people's minds and hearts without art. You just can't.
Exactly.
I mean, you can dictate to them, blah, 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 but that doesn't mean it's going to change for them.
No. I mean, the only thing that it's just making is that people are just confused and angry.
They're confused.
That's what's happening right now. I mean, if you go to Twitter and you voice your...
Yeah, well, because people don't know how to parent.
Right?
That's why. They don't know how to be a parent. That's why a lot of movies are coming about parents, too.
Oh, yeah.
Bad moms, you know, not all dads are bad. Moms are bad, too, you know? It's like, you know, and still, even with the priests and Catholicism, people still don't want to believe that, you know? It's like, it's right there.
Yeah.
You know, why is the Pope have Rome? Why does the Pope have one of the richest countries in the world? It's like, God would never...
Get me started on how the church doesn't get taxed, by the way.
That's what I'm saying. That's ridiculous, you know? So, you know, I believe in spirituality, I just don't believe in religion. I don't...
Yeah, and the thing is that even if you have religion, it's fine. But the thing is that people have to understand boundaries. Like, okay, this is what you believe in, and you don't want to do this because your religion doesn't want you to. That's fine, but don't come to me and be like, oh, you can't do this because my religion doesn't like that. And it's like, dude, I'm a free person.
Yeah.
Your liberty ends when where mine starts.
Right. I totally agree with you. And you're pretty radical. You were pretty quiet when you first came, but now I know you're radical. You're like me, so I'm happy. I had a feeling you were a little bit like me because you came to Sundance. You were quiet at first, like I was, but you knew who to hang around with.
Yeah, I'm pretty much like the quiet kid, but once I start, I rarely shut up, so that's the reason why.
Sounds like Augie.
Yep.
Well, I think it's great that I met you, and I can't wait to see what you do for me. Take your time. Definitely have you in mind for my short. I already have my screenplay done. I just have to have it edited. I need help editing it right now.
Oh, I'm your guy.
Yeah, you need screenplays too? Awesome. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I gotta get it going, and you know how it goes.
yeah, pretty much going.
Because Sunday the moon's in Scorpio, and Mercury's moved into Aquarius, and Aquarius season is good for this type of talking outside of the box, thinking, kind of being a rebel. Is Aquarius's theme. So I think Sunday probably good, because then the Scorpio moon will give people emotional attachment to it.